Leon only entered the merchant's shop for a second, just for ammo, just for a moment, just a quick purchase and back to work. But that was the beginning of the end.
Well, it's just a
What are you
replica.
buying? The merchant
couple of
said in
uses
that
for
voice of his, as if he'd just started a concert, not a bullet sale. Leon didn't even have time to respond because another text had already started, then another, then another. 5 minutes later, Leon stood still, staring at the screen, with the expression of a man who'd just lost a debate with a vending machine. The merchant chatted non-stop. About weapons, about upgrades, about how first-class the goods were, about the bargains of a lifetime, about prices, about everything. Leon was just trying to buy ammo, but with each passing second, it looked like his soul was slowly leaving his body. And when the merchant saw that Leon had only 3 pesetas, he got even more excited. Stranger, stranger, as if he'd just discovered the meaning of existence and decided to share it immediately. Then Leon realized this wasn't an ordinary shop. This was a mental test, a test of endurance, a test of patience. And the worst part was that it couldn't be turned off. After 10,000 texts from the merchant, Leon emerged from the shop slower, older, and much quieter. He no longer ran like a hero. He shuffled like a man who'd heard, "What are you buying?" so many times that it began to sound like his own thoughts. And the merchant? He continued to stand in his shop, satisfied, ready for the next customer, because in Resident Evil 4 Remake, the real boss wasn't any monster, it was the merchant. He just wanted ammo, that's it. A short visit, a quick exchange, and he leaves. But nothing in Resident Evil 4 is fast. Resident Evil 4 Remake, the merchant after 10,000 stories. Leon hadn't even made it far into the shop before he felt like he'd stumbled upon a concert by a one-man show that never finished performing. What are you buying? It started innocently. Stranger, stranger. It became disturbing. Got something that'll make you rich. Leon had already stopped listening, but it was too late. After 5 minutes, he stood frozen in place. POV. You just wanted to buy ammo, and you got a monologue that could have its own trilogy. What are you buying 10 hours edition was starting to sound like a real punishment. The merchant wouldn't stop, as if someone had given him an infinite DLC to talk about. Resident Evil 4 Remake, but the merchant won't stop talking. That was exactly the reality. Leon tried to move, but his brain was already in power-saving mode. 10,000 more bullshit stories later, and that wasn't even an exaggeration. Finally, a turning point. Leon looks at his 3 pesetas. The merchant reacts immediately. The merchant, when he sees 3 pesetas, full monologue mode activated. And then Leon realized the truth. This wasn't just any merchant. This was the final boss of patience. The most talkative character in gaming history. No longer a question, it was a fact. Resident Evil 4 Remake equals a simulator of listening to a merchant. In Resident Evil 4, the doors creak just as they always do, as if the game already knows another monologue is about to begin. What are you buying? He says immediately, before Leon even has a chance to look at the shelves, and then the same thing begins as always. Stranger is stranger. Got something that'll make you rich. Heh heh heh. Leon doesn't respond anymore. He used to respond. He used to negotiate. He used to even listen. Now he just stands there, waiting for the system to stop pretending this is a conversation and not an endless podcast about guns and pesetas. But the merchant doesn't stop, as if each visit from Leon resets his memory and simultaneously adds plus 1,000 to his chatter. Leon has only one thought. This was supposed to be a quick ammo purchase, and this stopped being a shop a long time ago. Leon looks away from the shelves. He knows this isn't a store anymore. It's a ritual from which there's no escape. The merchant has already won, not with the weapon, not with the price, with his voice alone. What are you buying? Rings out before Leon can even catch his breath. Behind him, the door closes by itself, as if the world knows it won't change anything. Stranger, stranger. Got something good for you. Leon doesn't respond. He tried once. Now he knows it's not a dialogue. It's a looping monologue that continues independently of him. Each visit was supposed to be quick. Ammo, upgrade, exit. And it always ended the same way. An increasingly heavy silence on his side, and an increasingly louder, "What are you buying?" on the other. In Resident Evil 4, there's no longer a fight for survival. There's only a fight for a moment of peace. Leon walks out slowly, like someone who's lost something they can't even show in their inventory. Behind him, the trade continues, and only one echo remains in his head. What are you buying?